hate the person. So I feel like they're at least a B. I'd say probably closer to B+. With the exception,
I'm right with you there.
With the exception of they should have drafted Justin Herbert instead of Tua. Like that's not supposed to be a slight at Tua. I just feel like Justin Herbert with the Dolphins makes more sense to me.
Well, I'm happy they didn't, because as a Ducks fan, it would have hurt to see Herbert go to the hated Dolphins. I'm right with you there as far as between B and B+. I think you pretty much hit it on the head. I like, the Tua thing was a nice gamble for them. They didn't trade up. They didn't have to lose any of their many draft picks for that. They did a smoke screen saying that they were going to take an offensive lineman, or that they liked Herbert better. And I think that worked out really well for them. And
worked out really well for the Chargers too.
Yeah. And then, they, as you said, offensive line, Jackson, Robert Hunt. Jackson I like a lot. I think he's underrated. He struggled last season, but he donated bone marrow to his sister. That's hard to come back from. That's a very difficult donation. It's very painful. But it's also, really cool of him. So, potentially good character move. Looks good. Don't know too much of his character off the bat, but I did like that pick a lot. Agree, they didn't draft a running back. I think they're kind of doing like a 2-year thing, since they're probably not trying to play Tua this year anyway, so maybe they think they can get another running back next year.
Well, I do know that. So they decided that it was in their best interest to keep Ballage over Kenyon Drake. So I think for some reason they do like him.
Bullshit. I guess, but Drake really excelled once he went over to the Cardinals. I didn't see anything in Ballage. To me, he doesn't pass the eye test. He's very much just a backup running back, in my opinion. Maybe he'll break out and prove you wrong, but I have not seen anything from him that I thought, oh wow, there's a star running back.
But
Breida,
is he a good backup? Could he be a good backup to Breida being the starter? Do they think that that's enough?
I guess. I don't. He's a plotter. To me, he's replaceable. He's a dime a dozen running back.
He's like a dime 100 running back.
Yeah, exactly. I think they were just trying to cut contracts that they didn't like going forward, which is fine. And they didn't think a running back is their priority right now, which again is fine. That's a philosophy I tend to agree with when you're rebuilding. Breida is good, often injured though. So I will pretty much guarantee you that the Dolphins will pick a running back in next year's draft. I don't know where, but I can pretty much guarantee that.
Or they somehow push for a trade with the Titans and get a guy like Derrick Henry or someone else.
I doubt they use a lot of capital on it until they see where they're at next year. But I liked the Davis pick. I think that was a nice pick that fell to them.
See, that's a pick.
Though they've got some talent there.
I think that's the pick people don't like that put them down to a B-. Because I think he's going to be a really good piece. A lot of people think that he's...
BPA, man. BPA.
Listen, not even BPA. I'm being completely honest with you right now. If the Cowboys drafted him, I would have been happy. Despite the fact that we just got Dontari Poe and Gerald McCoy, who are up there aging, yes, but they're still solid players. If the Cowboys drafted him, I would have been fucking ecstatic. Instead of Neville, whatever his name is, which we'll talk about.
Right. Yeah, the only real reaches, in my opinion, were Brandon Jones and Raekwon, or sorry, not Raekwon, that's Davis. Noah, however you say his last name.
I don't think it was a reach getting him, really. I think it was just a poor choice. because he's definitely first round talent. So like, he could have gone anywhere from.
What slid in the first round, I think they could have gone another direction.
They just don't need him. They've got 2 young corners.
Yeah, like I get having insurance, but you got so many other holes to fill. So that's where I definitely downgrade them.
And it's not like it was Jeff Okuda who fell. Like,
right.
if that's the case, you fucking draft Jeff Okuda.
That's a no-brainer. Yeah. You'll have the best quarterbacks in the league, and no one will be able to pass on you. But yeah, overall, very, very solid draft. Definitely a B to B plus, depending on how things pan out. They got Tua, they got him protection, they shored up some defensive stuff, but they could have, shored up some other areas that definitely need it.
All right, and what grade did you give? You said you give B plus, like I did.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tony says B minus, which is the same as what Sports Illustrated gave. I know I said we are going to do AFC break NFC, but let's take our break now. We'll come back, do the Jets and the Patriots, and then the NFC. How does that sound, guys?
Cool.
All right. So you were listening to Dan D'Antoni Sports. We will be right back. And welcome back to part 2 of Dan D'Antoni Sports. Probably shouldn't say part 2 because this is episode part 1. The second half of Dan D'Antoni Sports. Post-draft breakdown part 1, AFC and NFC East. Guys, where we left off was Dan O'Shea's beloved and also most hated team, the New York Jets. So, Jets, round 1, Mekhi Becton, tackle from Louisville. Round 2, Denzel Mims, wide receiver from Baylor. Round 3 had 2 picks. They went with Ashton Davis from Cal and Jabari Zuniga, the defensive end from Florida. Round 4, they had 3 picks. Went with running back LaMichael Pirine from Florida, quarterback James Morgan from Florida International, guard Cameron Clark from Charlotte. Round 5, my friend Endia, her brother, had his name called in the 5th round. Bryce Hall, corner from Virginia, will now be on the New York Jets. And then they finished off their picking in round 6 with Texas A&M punter Braden Mann. So let's break this down. Mekhi Becton, they obviously need offensive line. Obviously. Jets also need wide receiver. If they went wide receiver all 7 picks, I wouldn't have been surprised. Safety, there were rumors that, Jamal Adams might get traded. Then Ashton Davis got drafted, and those rumors were fueled even more. But now it seems like the Jets are actually picking up his 5th-year option, so who knows?
You mean you wouldn't have been surprised if they went all wide receivers because half of them are going to get arrested?
Only if they threaten to sleep with the cop's wife, but...
Which isn't an arrestable offense, but,
I mean, it could be. Harassment's an arrestable offense.
Yeah, but he's not saying that. He's not saying that to the wife. He's saying, I'm going to fuck your wife, which you can't arrest somebody for saying that.
Jabari Zuniga fills a need on the defensive spot. LaMichael Pirine's a bit of an anomaly to me. I thought he would have been drafted higher than he was. But also, why take a running back like him if you're comfortable with what's his name? Le'Veon Bell. James Morgan, I don't know why they... I just feel like teams don't know what to do when they get to a late round draft and they're like, there's a quarterback from a small school, take him. Whatever, take him. Cameron Clark, the guard from Charlotte, fills a need. Bryce Hall at cornerback. I don't know if that was necessarily a need, but is it?
Yes, very much so.
Okay. One that they should have addressed probably sooner.
I mean, I'm very happy with the Bryce Hall pick.
All right.
One of the steals of the draft.
And then Braden Mann, punter from Texas A&M. Was punter a real need for the Jets? I don't know. But the Jets got a solid first 2 picks. 3 if you don't think that Jamal Adams is going to be there very long. But after that, Jabari Zuniga, does he really bring the talent that you would want for defensive end for the Jets? He's not bad. LaMichael Pirine down is where it just doesn't make sense to me. So for grading just the first 2 days, I'd give him an A. Since we're grading the whole draft, best I can do is an A-, probably a B+.
That's fair. All right, so just to break this down, I'm in about the same area as you. I don't love some of the picks, but I love others. One of the ones I didn't actually love, but I'm okay with, is the Becton pick. I was a little higher on Wirfs, but that being said, Joe Douglas was a lineman, and he seems to be pretty capable from what I've heard so far and what I've seen. So I'm willing to trust him on that and say that's the right pick